one of the things that I mentioned on the show the other day, that a new weekly segment that we're going to start here is a segment I used to do years ago. But I don't honestly know why we ever stopped doing it, but we're doing a new weekly segment called Power Rankings, where every week we're going to look at what's in movie theaters. And the rule is it's got to be in at least 1,000 theaters. All right. Because if it's in 1,000 theaters, that means you, wherever you are, you probably can still go out to a theater and see it. If it's in like 200 theaters, it might not be playing anywhere around you. So the rule is for our weekly Power Rankings, as we count down the top 5 movies, what we consider to be the best 5 movies in theaters right now, it's got to be in at least 1,000 theaters. All right. So let's go over to our first week of April 12th countdown of our Power Rankings for the top 5 movies in theaters right now. At number 5, still in over 1,000 theaters. It's a great follow-up, a great third chapter. Creed 3, solid movie. Enjoyed this very much. I still maybe think that first Creed is the best one of the trilogy. I thought this was a step up over the second one. Had great character, great drama. Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan had great chemistry together. I believe they had a history together. Some creative choice about the fight, but the fight, you could feel the emotion behind it. I always say action without narrative purpose is just visual noise. With every punch thrown in this, you could feel the drama behind it, their background, their history that they have, the betrayal, and all that kind of stuff. I really like this movie. Creed 3 takes number 5 spot on our Power Rankings. Number 4 on the Power Rankings right now, Super Mario Brothers. This, now you're going to hear a lot of people talk about, and you've heard me talk about, the story is pretty weak, right? But then again, story has never been the highlight of any Mario game, right? The Mario Brothers movie does suffer a little bit from lack of a pretty good story, but you know what? They compensate. They compensate with great humor. They compensate with great nostalgia. They compensate with great moments, and they compensate by just being entertaining. So, is this going to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards? No, but you know what? I just had a lot of fun watching this movie.
And the animation just looks great.
And the animation looks fantastic. Everything about the animation looks very true to the video game styles. And by the time we all walked out of the theater after watching, we all just felt good. And that's what movies should do, man. They should make you feel good. I mean, some movies should make you feel heavy and horrible and scared and whatever, depending on what the movie's going for. But for a lot of movies, you just want to walk out of the movie theater feeling good and smiling. And that's what the Super Mario Brothers movie delivers. So Super Mario, the movie, is the number 4 spot on our Power Rankings. Okay, moving up to number 3 now. Coming in third, just above Super Mario Brothers, is Dungeons and Dragons. Now, this movie is not doing financially well, and that was to be expected. We all said for a long time, I didn't understand their decision to make this movie in the first place because I didn't think it had any hope of really making any money, and it's probably going to end up losing money. But that does not take away from the fact that the movie's fantastic. Both the critic and audience scores for this movie are both in the 90% range. It was far better than this movie had any business being. I absolutely adored it. I was so impressed and so surprised by simply how much fun the movie was and how much it felt to me like this was made by people who play D&D, because watching everything in the movie felt like I was watching a bunch of people playing the game. And for somebody who plays the game, that's a pretty big deal. And if you didn't play the game, this was the coolest thing about Dungeons and Dragons, is reading all the comments from people in my review saying, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons and I loved this movie. It's absolutely fantastic. So again, at number 5, we got Creed 3. In the number 4 spot, we have Super Mario Brothers, the movie. At the number 3 spot, we have Dungeons and Dragons. In the number 2 spot right now in our Power Rankings this week is John Wick 4. My God, you just think to yourself, how long can you keep going with this? How long can you keep going with John Wick just doing gun fu and killing a lot of people? Turns out forever, because it's always great. I think Chapter 4 is the best of the bunch of the franchise. Again, like Dungeons and Dragons, both the audience and the critic scores are in the 90th percentile range. It's on pace right now to be the biggest of the franchise, already sitting at $270 million. It'll probably cross the 327 mark to pass John Wick 3. Maybe it won't. I don't know, but it looks like it's going to. And you'd think that at almost a 3-hour runtime, you'd be too exhausted with the type of action that's in this. Nope. They found a way to make it work, man, and make it work. It's exhilarating. It kept you on the edge of your seat. So you know when some big thing happens in an action thing and you kind of go, boo, right? There's like 9 of those in this movie.
There's a lot of dopamine hits in this movie.
A lot of dopamine hits in this movie, man.
That's that shot, not giving it any away, but just that overhead shot. It just kept going, and I just started laughing.
It's so good.
You just got overwhelmed. You just started laughing at it.
And that ridiculous gun that comes out with those ridiculous rounds. Incredible. So, again, number 5, Creed 3. Number 4, Super Mario Brothers. Number 3, Dungeons & Dragons. Number 2, John Wick. And topping my power rankings, finally, I was late to the party. I finally got around to seeing it after people have been asking me all week, have you seen it? Have you seen it? I've finally seen it.
Woo!
And guys, the hype is real. All these people you hear saying it's the best movie of the year so far, they're right. We're talking about Air, the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck directed movie Air, looking around how the Air Jordans came to be. This, I was kind of setting myself up for disappointment, I think, that because I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. I love these style movies, love Matt Damon, whole bit. And I love these kind of movies that are telling the stories about something that we just take for granted, whether it's Facebook or whether it's a shoe or whatever, and telling the behind the scenes story of it. And I walked in and it lived up to every bit of hype that everybody's talked about. It's really a wonderful film. I suspect, even though it's so early in the year, I think this is going to get nominated for Best Picture of the Year. And if it's not, then we've got a great year ahead of us. If 10 other movies come out that are better than Air this year, this is going to be one hell of a year. But I absolutely loved it. It lived up to all the hype for me. So once again, our top 5 power rankings for the week of April 12th. I think these are the 5 films you got to make sure you go out and see in order. Number 5, Creed 3. Number 4, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Number 3, Dungeons & Dragons. Number 2, John Wick 4. And number 1 spot is Air. Go and check those out. Guys, question is for you. How does my power rankings list compare to yours? Remember, the rule is it's got to be still in at least 1,000 theaters. So don't mention a movie that's in 5 screens right now. How does my list add up to yours? Would you take off one of the films that are in my list? Would you rearrange it a little bit? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Rocket Money. The average person has around 12 paid subscriptions. Think about that. If you think you're only subscribed to a handful of services, you might want to double check. With Rocket Money, you can quickly identify and cancel all of your unwanted subscriptions. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want and don't even use. Simply find the subscription you don't want and press cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. No more long hold times with customer service or tedious emailing back and forth. Rocket Money makes canceling subscriptions as easy as the click of a button. My wife Ann and I moved out of Burbank 2 years ago, and one of the first things I discovered when I loaded up Rocket Money was that I was still paying for a gym membership I haven't even been to in Burbank in 2 years. So stop throwing away your money. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea. rocketmoney.com/Campea.